If you have Obamacare and you don't want it to be 75% more expensive, then you want Democrats to win this government shutdown fight.
The government shutdown was just a couple of days ago, but yesterday, October 2nd, I got this letter talking about how my monthly premiums are going to go up for my health insurance. They obviously sent this out before the shutdown even took place in order for me to get it yesterday. So look at this. 2025 monthly payment is $218. They broke it down for me though. Thank you. Here's the math, bitch. Monthly premium of $627 minus $409 of financial help you get each month. That's the Affordable Care Act going away. So $627 is right now. Starting in January, it's going to be $727. So not only did they take away the $409, they increased this motherfucker by $100 a month. What the fuck?
They are absolutely correct, you guys. And right here is a little side-by-side comparison because, you know, MAGA, they love to look at charts and they need something, some sort of picture so that they can really understand things. So this is with the Affordable Cares Act. This is without the Affordable Cares Act. And this is what the Democratic Party was trying to stop before this whole government shutdown, because the Republican Party wants to remove the Affordable Cares Act. That's what they want to do. It's not about undocumented migrants getting health care. It is not about that. It is about the lower class and middle class citizens here in the United States of America that can afford health insurance, plain and simple.
That's what's on the line. Simple as that. Republicans want to pass a resolution that will make subsidies for Obamacare disappear and in turn make it 75% more expensive for the average person. Democrats don't want that to happen. Which would you prefer?
Americans don't even get affordable health care right now. What the fuck makes you think immigrants do? They're not trying to take away health care for immigrants. They're trying to take away health care for you.
This is what will happen to your health insurance premiums if Republicans successfully get rid of the ACA, Affordable Care Act tax credits that are keeping them here, okay? Republicans are actively trying to get rid of these as we speak. It's kind of the whole reason the government is shut down right now and why Democrats are fighting so fucking hard to prevent this from happening. This right here is a plan from Anthem. This is for the year 2025. It is $307. This is for an individual who makes $65K a year in the state of Georgia. This is the exact same plan projected for 2026 without those tax credits for the same individual who lives in the state of Georgia making $65K a year. This is a $300 plan versus a $900 plan. This is why Democrats are fighting so hard, and Republicans want you to be convinced that no, they've shut down the government because they want to give free health care to undocumented immigrants. Undocumented immigrants are not allowed to have Medicare, Medicaid, whatever. They are not allowed to benefit from the Affordable Care Act. They do not benefit. They pay taxes on this. They pay taxes for this. They don't get to benefit from the system. So maybe you should worry about your damn self, because without the Affordable Care Act tax credits the Democrats are fighting so fucking hard to extend, you won't be able to afford health insurance.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but the biggest reason that there's a government shutdown is because the ACA, Affordable Care Act, has tax credits about to expire. Now, this wasn't a case in previous CRs, but it is the case now. So if they do nothing and just sign what it is now, like you people are saying the Democrats should just do, that means the Affordable Care Act will become increasingly more expensive for American families once those credits expire at the end of the year. Is that simple enough for you?
This is not a fight over tax credits. This is a fight over your ability to go to a pharmacy and afford your insulin.
I got a call from a constituent who wanted to tell us that if her healthcare premiums go up, they won't be able to afford it because it'll essentially be more than their mortgage. Right? There are real people who we're fighting for, real people every day who we are representing, and especially in government shutdowns where we don't take it lightly, right? This is a last case scenario, a worst case scenario, and something that you only do when there is something that is really worth fighting for. And right now, it is really important that we fight for Americans' health care.
The Republicans saying that Democrats want to shut down the government to give illegal aliens health care benefits is fucking crazy. I've looked it up. I found nowhere, unless they're refugees, where illegal immigrants get free health care like Medicaid, like regular American citizens do. That is just misinformation. It is false. It is fake. Most of the people on Medicaid and food stamps are in rural areas, red states, even blue states, regular American family homes. They're saying this stuff to trick people into thinking that's what's happening with our Medicaid dollars so they could take away your health care for your kids and pregnant women and other families just struggling to survive as it is, let alone having to worry about if your kid has Medicaid or not.
Alright, I gotta be honest with you because this story is wild. A bunch of Trump voters across America are losing it, like genuinely freaking out. Why, you might ask? This is after realizing that their healthcare premiums are skyrocketing after the government shut down. Well, here's the kicker. The same Republican lawmakers that they supported are now saying that it's the Democrats' fault. They want to give illegal immigrants health care. But the thing is, undocumented immigrants cannot get federal health care coverage. Like, they're not even eligible for that. Now, this is causing a lot of people to ask themselves, well, is this the loophole that Republicans want to use to actually cut health care for Americans? Because this is actually going to affect a lot of people who actually need health care. Now, let's get into the video and find out what's going on right now and why Republicans want to play this blame the immigrant card and exactly why healthcare insurance premiums are skyrocketing for some people and how MAGA is actually taking this. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit that like button and engage with the video by leaving a comment. It really helps the video to be pushed to a wider audience. Let's take a look. I'll be back with more commentary.
We all have to get behind the Democrats calling for a shutdown. And Trump supporters, I am talking to you too. We need the Affordable Care Act subsidies to become permanent. And over 50 conservative groups are urging Trump to let them expire. And let me tell you, this is one example of the math. A couple who are 55 years old, collectively bringing in $85,000 a year, currently pay, on average, in healthcare premiums, $7,500 a year. If these Affordable Care Act subsidies expire, their premium, are you listening to me, Trump supporters? Their premium jumps to $24,000 a year. So while the billionaire class continues to become ungodly wealthy under this administration, private healthcare insurers and all of their executives are going to make a shit ton of money because they'll get to charge you another $17,000 a year. Just a couple making $85,000 a year. A lot of us don't make that much. Who can afford to have 25% of their income go to healthcare premiums? We're just going to become uninsured. No one's going to be able to afford that. Are you ready for this, Trump supporters? Instead of owning the libs, can we not all get together and agree this is really, really, really bad and it's okay to jump sides one issue at a time? Can you do that to save yourselves? Please.
Okay, I want you to grab your most recent healthcare bill right now. You can pause this, whatever. Get your monthly statement for your health insurance. Get it now and look at it. If you are one of millions of people out there who get a monthly subsidy, it's an annual subsidy divided by every month when you pay into the Affordable Care Act insurance plans. Take a look at your bill and see if you can see the negative number, the amount of money they deduct from what you owe that is being paid by the government. That is your health care subsidy. Look at that number. It's going to be hundreds of dollars, if not low thousands. Okay, that's what is about to expire at the end of December. And that is why the Democrats are not voting along with the Republicans. The Republicans want that to expire. The Democrats don't. Your bill will stay the same, or if the Republicans have their way, it's going to skyrocket by probably at least $500 to over $1,000 a month. Them's is the facts. Look at your bill.
And for those that aren't from America, you guys have to understand this also. A simple hospital visit for someone, if they don't have health insurance, let's say they go to the hospital, they have to go to the emergency room and they're sick and they need urgent care right then and there. A simple visit can literally cost the American person thousands, if not tens of thousands, just going to the hospital. And I know you're thinking, well, just don't pay the bill. Well, here in America, guess what? If you have a job, they will garnish your wages. So now you're making even less money on your paycheck because you ended up having an emergency visit to the hospital. Also, here in America, if you don't have health insurance, and let's say you get taken by an ambulance and everything, let's say you need an ambulance and you call, you're like, yo, I need someone, that right there could be tens of thousands of dollars as well. Let me know your thoughts and your comments over this way, because that is what the Democratic Party is trying to stop with this whole government shutdown. Thanks, you guys.
So I've been looking at how much healthcare premiums are estimated to skyrocket, right? If the Republicans do not agree to extend, the ACA cuts and subsidies and da-da-da-da. They're going to double, triple, quadruple, y'all. And so many people are going to be without health care starting January. I'm scared. I've had health care all my life. I know I'm privileged in that way to have had health care all my life, good health care all my life. But I'm worried because next year may be the first year that I don't have health care. And I'm a single person, right? So, and I already pay for the top premiums of healthcare, right? I don't even know how to explain because I don't even understand shit, but I pay, it's expensive. And that's going to go up. I'm a single person. I don't got to worry about me, right? And I'm worrying about how much healthcare is going to cost and whether or not I will be able to afford it. How that looks for me. Does it make sense to pay astronomically, for healthcare in America versus going outside of America to get healthcare? Or in case of an emergency, what happens? Even my primary doctor, she's no longer accepting insurance. So I actually have to find another doctor. She's going away from insurance completely. And there are a lot of doctors that are doing that right now. So it's just the system is broken, but it's breaking even further. And what the fuck? What are we supposed to do?
When I say that the health insurance industry is cyclical and destructive and a perfect encapsulation of the rest of the US economy, I'm not kidding. The way health insurance is supposed to be set up is you pay into it monthly, and then when you need coverage for a procedure, a visit, or some medication or anything else, they're supposed to step in and either cover it in full or in part. That's how it's supposed to be, but they don't because they're too focused on denying you so that they can cover their bottom line. Then you add in the rising costs of living on top of Trump's tariffs, which raise the cost of living exponentially, so they now have to raise their premiums to protect their bottom line. Now, as a reaction, healthy people who only use their insurance maybe once a year realize they can cover that cost out of pocket because it's cheaper than paying monthly into their insurance, so they drop their insurance. Now that insurance company is stuck with only people who actually need coverage and use it more than once a year. So now they have to raise their premiums to protect their bottom line. And because they're focused on not just profits, but record-breaking profits, they have to expectedly raise their premiums regularly to maintain that growth path in a market that shouldn't really be growing. And as a result, their customer base gets smaller and smaller and smaller because less and less people can afford it. So then they go into debt, and then a larger company merges with them. So now they have a new customer base that they can then repeat the entire cycle to. And then when that gets too big, they have two options. They can either go to the government for a bailout, which usually happens, or they can start over, lower the prices, but you get lower coverage. And then they just start the cycle over and over again. And then you get less and less coverage for the cost of more and more. It is parasitic and self-destructive.
Donald Trump is pushing a $20 billion bailout for healthcare for Argentinians. That's right. $20 billion of U.S. backing for a country that already has free universal healthcare for every single one of its own people. And it's not just Argentina, friend. We also send billions to Israel, which is another country where healthcare is guaranteed. No premiums, no deductibles, no insurance games like we have to face here. So what does that mean, you ask? It means we're paying for free healthcare abroad, while here in the United States, families go bankrupt over medical bills. Americans can't afford their insurance premiums. Rural hospitals are closing. People skip life-saving prescriptions because they can't afford them. And it gets worse. Trump's own allies, the MAGA extremists, are now talking about racial profiling in hospitals, friend. They want doctors and nurses to demand papers before giving emergency care. Let that sink in. If you've got the wrong skin color, the wrong accent, or even the wrong job, they want you bleeding out in an ER until you can prove that you belong. This is where we are. We are funding free healthcare in Argentina, free healthcare in Israel, and at the same time, MAGA wants to make sure Americans here at home don't get affordable care. And some people might not even get emergency treatment at all, by the way. So how is that America First exactly? It isn't about saving money. It isn't about fairness. It's about a system that will subsidize healthcare everywhere else but here, while punishing the most vulnerable people in our communities. So the question is simple. Why are Americans the only ones who are told we can't afford healthcare while our tax dollars keep paying for it everywhere else?
Alright guys, there you have it actually. Things are getting too real, especially for Trump supporters and MAGA in rural areas, because you are the guys that actually highly depend on these tax credits, the Affordable Care Act, Medicaid, Medicare, to actually be treated in hospitals, for instance, to get affordable health care. Now you are about to lose it. Why? Because of bigotry, because of not wanting to listen, because of hatred, because of racism, because of ignorance. A lot of people on the left try to warn you all about this actually happening, and they are still trying to fight for y'all, because they're fighting to actually get everybody not to lose their health care. Yet the Republicans are telling y'all that, yeah, the government shutdown is the Democrats' fault because they want to give healthcare insurance to illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants are not eligible to healthcare in the United States. The plan behind this is they want to end the Affordable Care Act, and a lot of people are starting to see the premium healthcare insurance actually skyrocketing, getting emails and memos and letters like what we have seen in this video when it was beginning, because people are now freaking out, especially MAGA in rural areas, because they highly actually depend on this healthcare. Most of them are unemployed or earning below the minimum wage and barely actually surviving, because a lot of people in blue states have been bailing out red states for years. Yet these people in red states always vote against their best interest. They always want to own the leaves in their own terms, but they end up actually owning themselves and be hit with instant karma, because karma is a B, as they always say. Everything always comes back to bite you in the back. Now the Dems are fighting through this government shutdown not to actually lose the Affordable Care Act, especially for most people, because they understand that if people actually lose this, people are gonna suffer. People are going to even be unalived because of lacking the ability to afford healthcare. Yet these guys want to come here and twist this thing and paint it on the Dems and trying to tell you all that the Dems are trying to give insurance to illegal immigrants. Yet illegal immigrants do not even qualify to be given affordable healthcare by US law. Now the problem is that these people actually never seem to learn. They never seem to do any kind of research, and that's why the Orange Man actually has always been saying that he likes the uneducated. He has said that smart people don't like him, And unfortunately, smart people are on the blue side, and they are always trying to fight for everybody. Yet on the other side are these people whose only concern is to own the libs and nothing else, and they end up hurting themselves over and over and over again. Now, let's start with the basics. Why are people actually suddenly paying more in health insurance? This is because when Congress actually lets the Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies expire, millions lost those discounts that made premiums cheaper. Now, those subsidies had cut costs dramatically for middle and low income families. When they're gone, your monthly premiums are going to jump, and that is just simple math. Now, Republicans chose not to extend those subsidies in their shutdown budget negotiations, even though both parties had extended them before. So you have to understand that your monthly premium on health insurance spiking wasn't actually caused by immigrants or the Dems. It's literally the result of Congress not renewing financial assistance for everyday Americans. So this isn't just an American problem, it's a Republican policy problem. Let me know in the comments, guys, what do you think about today's episode? I'm a presenter, Joel Mugisha. If you're new, kindly consider subscribing and joining us to be part of this growing community. Hit that like button and engage with the video by leaving me a comment. Really helps with the algorithm to push this video to a wider audience. And as always, see you on the next episode.